Look, I've got to be completely honest. I don't have that much footage of me playing NightReign throughout the last 60 hours that I've put into it since launch because, honestly, I never planned to make a video on it at all. In the same way that I never planned for it to become such an integral part of my daily gaming sessions. As of recently, I've spent my time playing Battlefield, Sea of Thieves, Holdfast, Ready or Not, and Assassin's Creed Shadows. Notice how none of these are roguelites, and yet Elden Ring NightReign has snuck its way in there as a game that I play almost daily for at least 1 or 2 runs. Today I'm going to be going over why I found myself absolutely loving From Software's mid-priced, Souls-like 3-player roguelite, and why if you've never even played a Souls game before, you might want to consider it. Before we get into this, please consider subbing to the channel. We mostly do virtual reality and sometimes the occasional flat screen game here, like today's video, and thank you to our patrons and members who are all on screen right now. Now, to go back to my earlier point, I do wish I had recorded more gameplay throughout my entire playthrough of NightReign. I've now finished the game, finished in quotes there, done all the bosses.
Ulting! Yes! 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 Yes!
Oh! God. Mostly with the Iron Eye class with 2 of my mates, and honestly I've just been having so much fun with it. This is my first proper FromSoft game. I've delved into Bloodborne a little bit, but it didn't quite gel with me, and to be honest, I think it's because I just wasn't into the Souls-like genre. But since then, I've played and completed Remnant 2, and I ended up really loving that. It was a good intro into the genre because it incorporated shooter mechanics, which I'm more familiar with, and had some incredible boss design and amazing looking world visuals. So when NightReign came along, I thought this might be a good time to get into the world of Elden Ring, in something that I can jump into for 45 minutes a day if I really want to, with a couple of mates and learn the ropes. Now it goes without saying I've never played Elden Ring, so all of the weapons and bosses in NightReign are new to me, and it just adds something so fantastic to each run, especially when I first started off in the game, that there'd be something new for me to experience each time. Whether it's a new weapon pickup, but mostly not for Iron Eye because there aren't that many bows in the game, new great enemies for us to go and fight, or end of day bosses that I hadn't seen before, I was still finding new interactions and new enemies by hour, say 50 in the game. And for £35 here in the UK, not full AAA price, it was so worth the money. The loop of NightReign is so addicting. If you've never played it, you may have seen it being described as Elden Ring Battle Royale, and I kinda get where that's coming from. On the face of it, you've got a circular island map, with various enemies, events and outposts to go to, and an enclosing ring. Once the ring closes fully, you fight a boss, then the day resets, so you're on the same map, but you can go and explore the things that you didn't do in the day before. Some more events and opportunities and enemies will pop up in the second day, along with shifting earths, allowing you to build up runes and levels, expand your build throughout the run, before fighting a boss at the end of that day, and then finally moving on to the end game boss of the run. There are 8 of these bosses to choose from, plus a couple of harder variants that get rotated in throughout the weeks, and this loop of say 40 minutes of build up until you get to the final boss, slowly growing your power is just so satisfying. And when you get to that final boss and you've honed in on what weaknesses it has and you're all set out with your best kit, with competent teammates, there's nothing more satisfying. Both upgrades during your run that you lose in the classic roguelike style, and relic rights that you choose in between runs that you carry no matter what, like your starting weapon doing fire or holy damage, or starting with an Evergel key. Both of these offer split-second decision-making that will aid you in your journey, or more complex permanent build adjustments depending on which boss you're going against. It's something that is integral to the Souls-like genre, but for somebody who's only played a couple of games in this genre before, it felt really fresh to me. And getting the perfect run with the perfect kit is just so satisfying. For example, in this run we were abandoned by our 3rd member, who was a random player, which meant that we had to go into the final boss fight as a duo, slightly underleveled, and we thought we had absolutely no chance, so it made this moment all the better.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my fucking god, we did it!
Each Night Lord is pretty great in their own right as well, offering different challenges depending on which character you're bringing, and at first being a genuinely terrifying threat, and then once you break it down over a couple of runs, they still offer a challenge, but they become a lot more readable and understandable in terms of their attacks and how you break down each moveset. I don't think there was a single Night Lord in the game that I found was overly frustrating or badly designed, and I don't know if the original soundtrack is bespoke for each of the Night Lord bosses in this game, or whether they're reused from Elden Ring and other Dark Souls games, but it's just absolutely phenomenal at points. I mean, listen to this. This is my favourite boss theme from the entire game, for a very good reason. Everdarks, though, are properly hard bosses, and I've only attempted them a couple of times. Again, I'm not a massive Souls-like player, so these ones are incredibly challenging for me. During each run, it helps that there are different variables here too, like raids where other bosses can come and invade your run at the worst possible time, forcing you to act on the spot, and if you beat them, then you get a reward, but if you don't, then they're a big hindrance. Heading into a shifting earth area is always truly rewarding as well, picking up a great perk and some fantastic loot along the way, and defeating a couple of great enemies to get your levels up. Each of them feel different, not only in their visual style, but also in their fundamental gameplay design, and I can't wait to see if they add any more to the game in the future. One big point of contention though at the start when the game came out was that solos were incredibly unbalanced and there was no duo mode. Solos is still the same to this day, but duo mode now feels to me a little bit easier than trios, to be honest, just because the boss health is a lot lower and the rune acquisition is much higher. But for me, in terms of game balance, 3 just feels the best. It feels like you're working properly in tandem with a bit of a team, and I don't know, I just prefer trios to duos. Now that I've beaten each of the bosses with I and done the full remembrance, I think I'll go on to some of the other characters and see how I can pick those up, because eventually when I go into base game Elden Ring, I'm going to have a hard time adjusting if I'm just an I main, because there isn't really a comparable class in Elden Ring for that apparently, so I'll have to get good with some of the other classes too. Overall, I've been really enjoying Elden Ring NightReign over the last couple of months, and it's become a mainstay for me whenever I go to play some games. From its fantastic movement, great boss design, addictive loop with relic and gear acquisition, and the fact that it's a co-op game, which always makes it more enjoyable for me, has made it so I won't be dropping this one anytime soon. And beating the game was absolutely euphoric. It was such a good moment that I'll remember for a very long time. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Have you played Elden Ring NightReign? Let me know in the comments below, and I hope to see you all in the next one.